Have you ever felt torn between the things you love doing and the things you have to do? Maybe you dream of writing, painting, traveling, or building something new, but most of your time is spent working, studying, or handling responsibilities. This gap, the space between passion and obligation, is something almost everyone struggles with. And today, we'll talk about why this gap exists, what it does to us, and how we can begin to close it. Let's make it clear. What you like to do are the things that give you joy, meaning, and energy. They don't feel like work. They make you lose track of time. What you must do are the things that keep your life stable. Paying bills, taking care of family, holding down a job, keeping commitments. The problem is, these two don't always overlap. You might love music, but you spend your days working in a warehouse. You might want to write, but you spend your nights finishing assignments. The gap can feel like a wall, separating who you are from who you want to be. But why does this gap exist in the first place? There are three big reasons. We live in a world where money and security come first. You can't focus on painting if there's no food on the table. So we pick safe jobs that guarantee income. Family, culture, and society often push us to follow certain paths. Maybe your parents wanted you to be an engineer, or your community values stability over risk. So passions are pushed aside for responsibility. Following your passion is scary. What if you fail? What if nobody cares? What if you can't make it work? Fear convinces us to settle for the path of least resistance, doing what we must, while ignoring what we love. But living with this gap has consequences. When we only do what we must, life becomes a routine of obligations. We get up, work, sleep, repeat. Over time, this can lead to burnout, not from working too hard, but from working without meaning. On the other hand, when we chase only what we like and ignore our responsibilities, we feel guilt and instability. Bills pile up, relationships suffer, and the passion itself may become stressful. This constant pull between want to and have to creates inner conflict. Stress, anxiety, a quiet frustration that life is passing by and we are not living fully. Maybe you felt it, at your desk, daydreaming of the thing you wish you were doing instead. That's the gap talking. History is full of people who faced this gap. Many famous authors wrote books in the late hours after long workdays. Musicians played at night while working jobs by day. Even entrepreneurs often start with side projects before turning them into businesses. But there are also everyday stories. A father who works long shifts to support his family, but carves out an hour every night to practice guitar. A student who studies medicine because of family pressure, but spends weekends creating art that later grows into a career. These stories remind us, the gap is real, but it can be managed. So how do we begin to close this gap? Here are 4 practical ideas. Schedule your passion like an appointment. Even 30 minutes a day matters. Treat it as non-negotiable. Over time, these small blocks add up. Look for ways to connect what you must do with what you like. If you work in an office but love design, maybe you can handle presentations. If you're in sales but love storytelling, use it to connect with clients. Instead of waiting for your passion to replace your job, start small. Sell 1 painting, publish 1 article, record 1 video. Even tiny steps turn passion into possibility. Don't see responsibilities as enemies. Think of them as stepping stones. The money from your job, the skills from your duties. They can fuel your passion if you reframe them. Now let's pause and reflect. Will the gap ever disappear completely? Maybe not. Life will always demand some responsibility, but the size of the gap is not fixed. We can shrink it step by step, decision by decision. And here's the truth. Fulfillment is not about doing only what you love or only what you must. It's about weaving them together, finding balance, overlap, and progress. So, the next time you feel torn, remember, you don't need to quit everything and chase passion blindly. And you don't need to bury your dreams under endless responsibilities. You just need to take small, consistent steps to bring what you love closer to what you do. The gap will shrink, the balance will grow, and life will begin to feel more like your own. Now I want to hear from you. What do you love doing, and what do you have to do every day? Where is your gap? And how are you working to close it? Leave your answer in the comments. And if this video gave you something to think about, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more.